Welcome back to the Million Dollar Landscaper podcast. Let me ask you something. If someone called 5 of your last customers, would they say the same thing about your business? Would they say you showed up on time, you did what you said you were going to do, you kept your promises, you cleaned up after yourself? If not, we need to chat because before you can get into building your business, into running those Facebook ads, having that great website, putting out all those postcards and all that, there's one thing that matters more than anything else, and that's your reliability. Reliability is really the foundation of everything that goes into marketing and running your business. And if you can't consistently deliver what you promise, no matter how many leads you have coming in, no matter how many ads you're running, how pretty your trucks are, none of this is going to fix it. Now, reliability is pretty simple. It means doing what you said you're going to do the way you said you're going to do it. And in landscaping, this can mean literally just showing up when you said you're going to show up. You tell the customer you're going to be there at 5, you better be there at 5, not 5:13. It could mean doing the work the right way the first time, keeping the job site clean, picking up at the end of the day, blowing off the sidewalks, picking up the pallet banding, the plastic goes on the brick, whatever it is. Keeping the job site clean is huge. But the biggest one is really communicating with the customer. Something pops up, something changes. Are you communicating? None of this stuff is crazy. None of it's flashy. But if you aren't getting this stuff right, that's where everything else kind of falls apart. Now, my dad used to say, you can't polish a turd. And what I mean by this is you can't have just, the best looking website or a great looking truck. But if the customer's experience doesn't match that, they're not going to call you again. They're not going to tell others about you. So if things aren't very pretty on the back end, it doesn't matter what you're trying to polish up, is what I'm getting at here. And I never really thought about it that way, but it's the truth. You have to be reliable. You have to have things on this side of the fence looking good as well as this side. Now, here's the truth. Reputation is earned. Marketing only works when you say what you say matches what you actually do. Now, if your work is kind of all over the place, where some jobs are great, others not so much, your reputation is going to be the same way. And when people go online to either leave a review or refer you, they're going to share the truth, not the promises. Think about it. What is the first thing that someone does before they actually hire you? They're probably going to either call some people, they're going to go on Google and look at the reviews. They're going to see you said, you do what you said you're going to do for other customers. Are you trustworthy? And reliability is what makes those 5-star reviews possible. So let's be real here. Most landscapers I talk to, they think they're reliable. This is what's in their head. Yeah, I'm good. But reliability isn't what you say. It's really honestly what the customer says. Now, here are the 5 signs, or some of the signs I should say, not 5. Here are some of the signs that your business could be struggling with reliability. Again, it's one of those, you don't show up when you say you're going to show up. You forget to call customers back. You tell the customer you're going to give the estimate to them in 3 days and it takes you a week. Jobs take longer than what you promise. Customers are really surprised by the final invoice. Or you don't have a system for doing the same things over and over every single time. And if any of this really sounds familiar, that's okay. You're not alone. All these things are fixable. But if you can't answer those questions and say, yes, that happens every single time, then you have a reliability issue. So if any of these are true, how do we go about fixing it? We need to remember, we don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent throughout. And that's what systems are for. So a few quick things you can do to help build these simple systems. And we've talked about it in the past. One of them is something as simple as a checklist. Having a checklist on the job, having a checklist when you show up on the job, when your job's finished, whatever, having some kind of checklist is key. And this just really honestly helps ensure that nothing gets missed throughout. The second thing is we need to set clear expectations with the customer. This starts at the very beginning when we're doing the proposal and the estimate. what's honestly included with this? How long do you think it's going to take? When will you be there? Now, I know this might be honestly sometimes hard to estimate or guess how, when you're going to be there, how long it's going to take. But if you have a proper estimating system, you should have an idea how long that job is actually going to take and be pretty accurate with it. One of the things I'll throw out there is you have to be clear with the customer that whether happens in this job, in this, this type of industry. And if we get pushed back for a job that we're doing next week and your job's the following week, well, it's a trickle down effect. But you have to be honest with them and share with them what happens and just be open with them. But you have to have these clear expectations with the customer.
We want to take a quick second to tell you about our friends over at Cycle CPA. I can't even express to you how important it is to have a good accountant on your side. You know you want accurate bookkeeping and financial statements every month. Instead, you're often left with limited time to focus on the accounting side of your business and no reports to show for it. At Cycle CPA, the landscaping accountants, they not only handle the bookkeeping, but also provide landscape industry benchmarking, job costing, financials by service line, advisory meetings, and much more. Cycle CPA has a team of landscaping accountants available to provide anything from bookkeeping to CFO services. Visit cyclecpa.com and for $100 off, mention the Million Dollar Landscaper podcast.
Want to grow your business and get more customers fast? Then it's time to talk about pay-per-click advertising from Green Frog Web Design. With PPC, your business can appear right at the top of the search results, putting you in front of the customers who are already looking for your services. Whether it's landscaping, home improvement, or retail, Green Frog's expert team will create targeted, high-performing ad campaigns that deliver real results. No wasting money, no guessing games, just more leads and more sales. And the best part, Green Frog handles everything for you, from keyword research to ad design to optimization, so you can focus on what you do best, running your business. If you're ready to leap ahead of your competition, visit greenfrogwebdesign.com today or just click the link in the bio. Start driving traffic, generating leads, and growing your business like never before.
You need to have a clear system for performing your estimates. You shouldn't be guessing and just kind of winging it and just hoping that you're going to make money. The next one is really just training your team to follow your processes. Everyone on that job should know how to do those things. And the one story that I know I shared it before, but I went to help another landscape company that's pretty local to us. And installing mulch. I'm out there watching them and I was helping them out install the mulch, and the crews are going around and dumping the mulch. And I grab a rake and I start raking around and, leveling out, getting my 3 inches thick. And the owner of the business comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, you're doing it wrong." I'm like, what are you talking about? I've installed thousands of yards of mulch. Like, what do you mean I'm doing this wrong? He's like, "No, I want you on your hands and knees to install that mulch." And for one, in my head, I'm thinking, this seems kind of crazy. But on the other end of it, I'm like, well, you didn't tell this to me. And the same thing with your crews. If you don't tell the crews how you want things done, they're going to do the things the way they think they should be doing the things. So we have to be clear on our processes, how you want things done. And again, that goes back to that owner should have told me in the beginning, I don't want you to use a rake. I want you to shred it by hand. That's fine. However you want it done, that's fine. But you just have to have a clear process laid out. The next thing you need to have is kind of a clear handoff process when the job ends. When the job ends, do you walk around with the customer? Do you do a final walkthrough checklist that goes through everything with the customer, make sure everything is done exactly what they wanted to do? Are you following up with the customer and telling them thank you and asking for reviews, asking for feedback? You need to have some kind of process that you go through with this for the customer. And because really what it comes down to is when a customer knows what to expect and you deliver on that every single time, that's that reliability. Now, if you can do one thing this week to improve your reliability, I'm going to ask you to do this. Go create that simple job checklist. Make it something simple, 5, 7, 10 steps on what should happen every single job. I want you to write it out, post it, print it, encourage your crews to use it, and really make sure they are using it. And Don't get worried about trying to make sure everything's on there perfect. I can recall making our first equipment checklist, where our crews need to load up every single morning. I couldn't even tell you how many times I had to update that and add things to it because I started doing it. I made it once. I'm like, oh, shoot, I need to have this on here. So I'd go add that piece of equipment or whatever it was. Oh, shoot, I need to have this. So don't get hung up on trying to make it perfect, but go out there, make that simple job checklist and make sure your crews are following up on that. The next thing you could be doing, start tracking is how often do you follow up with that customer? A simple thank you call or email or even a handwritten letter goes a long, long way. And it really sets a tone for those great reviews later. So again, just go out, make that checklist and ensure your crews are following it. Follow up with your customers. Those are some of the top two things I could recommend for you to do this week. So here's the bottom line. If you want your marketing work, if you want those leads to turn into jobs, you have to be reliable first. The reputation, reviews, ads, they all come after the experience you deliver. So before we go talk about fixing your website or your Google business profile, or heck, even running ads, let's make sure your business has that solid base, that solid foundation we talked about. Now, in the next episode, we're going to dive into a little bit more of our R6 framework. Today, again, we talked about the reliability. That's the base of our framework. Next week, we're going to dive into the reputation to help you understand how to collect those great reviews and how to use them to actually win more jobs. And this is really going to help protect your online image. So again, if you guys have any questions about this, have a different approach to this, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Please share it in the comment section. And guys, if you guys need any more help with these systems and you want to have a serious conversation about this, we'd love to set up a phone call with you. You can head over to www.leadspeed.io/strategy call. It's in the link below. Love to set up a 45-minute call with you guys, and we can kind of sit down and go through this and go through all 6 of these things to make sure you have these processes set up in your business to make sure your marketing is actually working. All right, guys, hope you have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.